Any other predictions y'all? Any Hail Marys you want to throw out there?
I bet that they could just announce Bloodborne PS5, and the only difference is 60 frames per second, and the crowd would go nuts.
Do you remember the PlayStation 3? Do you remember Massive Action Game?
Was that Mag?
PlayStation is about to have their big showcase this week. This is seeming like their not E3 showcase. Essentially, it's going to be over an hour of first party and third party games and other things, probably, maybe, who knows. But it's going to be at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday this week. Big PlayStation showcase. E3 season will officially start soon.
Oh,
I'm really looking to see what Sony shows off of their cloud gaming.
Yeah.
And by cloud gaming, I mean Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
Mm-hmm. Damn it.
Very nice.
That was terrible. First of all,
was it?
Well, I know that the CMA is so worried about cloud gaming. So, just Sony's going to be like, yeah, cloud's coming back, Barrett's coming back, Aerith may or may not die. It's okay, we've got you guys.
Yeah, I guess this would be the place to show Final Fantasy VII too, right? Because Final Fantasy
slated
16,
for end of this year,
allegedly. And I mean, 16 comes out soon. I feel like they've already been ramping up the PR machine for 16, right? And there's going to be that big launch event in LA next month. So, like, it'd be weird to have 16 show up here as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
I still wouldn't doubt that it's going to. I could imagine them showing either 16 and 7 or 7 and whatever that compilation game is meant to be, because we haven't heard about that for a while.
Oh yeah.
Or Final Fantasy IX remake. Just throw the rest of them out the window. Let's do that one.
Yeah, who cares about Cloud?
God, imagine that they're in the middle of all of this work for Final Fantasy VII remake, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna start on another trilogy of games.
Do it.
Yikes.
I mean, I could see them
pre-order it now.
Yeah, we'll probably see Spider-Man 2 at this if I had to guess, because the rumor mill's been saying, right, it's going to come out in September. So if that's true, this would be the time to reveal Spider-Man 2, or like the release date for it, right?
Kind of in a similar vein to all of the Final Fantasy projects going on as well, there's also a chance that we could actually see something of Wolverine.
True.
Because that is also happening.
It is, but I feel like, I don't know, Wolverine just has that energy of it's too far away to really actually happen, or like at least at this point in time, just feels like kind of a not vaporware,
just too early.
Yeah.
Still time to come. Sure. Thinking about games that have already come out, do we think that we'll see any expansion content for God of War? Just if we're going to like rally off like the big hitters at the moment?
I thought I saw that they said they weren't going to do any DLC, or they didn't have plans for DLC, which I mean, maybe they suddenly found, remember that there were no plans for The Last of Us Part 2, and then it came out, right? So who knows?
Oh shit. The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer, isn't that meant to still be happening?
Factions?
Yeah. God, how long ago wasn't the multiplayer originally meant to launch with Last of Us Part 2?
Well, now I think it's spun off onto its own thing, right? Last of Us Faction, or not Factions. That was the name of the.
Was it going to be its own standalone?
I think so. But I mean, last we heard of it, we saw that nice crispy JPEG at Jeff's house last year. Just that one JPEG of concept art. That's about it that we've seen of it, right?
Weird.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see it here too. I mean, Naughty Dog has been pretty quiet since when was it that Part 2 came out? 2020, right? In terms of like a big new project. Mm-hmm.
Man, it's kind of crazy, like thinking, it's also like, there'll probably be Silent Hill 2 there, and this and that. And it's just like, there's a lot of weird, like, known entities, but unseen known entities kind of coming up on Sony's slate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, because they say it's like third party as well, right? So it could really be like kind of anything could be here. I mean, hasn't the rumor mill also been spinning up like a Metal Gear Solid remake or Metal Gear 3 remake like for years now? And it's like, maybe this is the place. Who knows?
It's just you're gonna get a re-release of every single video game you owned and loved on the PS2 and PS3.
I mean, in that vein,
I'm on board with that.
We could see the Persona 3 remake be announced here, like officially confirmed here.
I saw more recent rumors for that's going to be at the Xbox showcase in June.
Oh, really?
So, which is also, definitely all of the Persona games. Well, not all of the Persona games, but the current cultural phenomenon of Persona. Yes, I know that there were Persona games before Persona 3. Get out of the comments.
Yeah, he's talking about the good Persona games. Now come back into the comments, please.
That kind of in recent years, Xbox has really been making that push for the JRPG makers. Got Dragon Quest on Game Pass, got the Persona games on Game Pass. So yeah, the current rumor, and we got that one potential screenshot. I don't know if that was ever debunked or not, but yeah, Persona 3, whatever this perfect edition is going to be, because I assume that it will include the post-game story with Aegis as well as the male and female protagonists, so that there's finally like a definitive way to play this game.
That would be really nice, because that's one reason I didn't jump into the portable version that they re-released recently. It's like, I mean, that's great, but then you're missing some of the FES content, and it's like, I don't know. And with all the rumors of the remake, it's like that would be nice to have, right?
Yeah.
What if it doesn't have the FES content? It doesn't have a female protagonist, but it has something new.
I mean, I'd try that. I'd try it out. Sure. I mean, I've beaten FES already before, so like I know what that content is at least. It'd be nice to see something different. Do you guys have any other predictions for the PlayStation Showcase?
I would love to see Ape Escape or something similarly. Like, I want to see something first party but smaller scale that isn't Little Big Planet. Like, I would love to see another like Astro Adventure and have him like spend more time going through the history of PlayStation, or a smaller game like Ape Escape. Just I love my PlayStation, love playing blockbusters on it. But I know that just Sony has so much going on in their history of IP, or even a new project, just to be like, here's a fun little bubbly game. I do not need a 20-hour relationship slog where death is around every corner all the time.
Same. I mean, there is the PSVR 2, right? I was thinking maybe this is a space for them to, if they're really still committing to it, they'll push more software for it. And that could be a place for a new Astro game, right? Astrobot, because those were originally PSVR games, if I remember right.
Just pull the original, charge you $70.
Exactly.
Why not?
And then say there's better graphics and you're good. But no, I mean, we could see other like PSVR 2 killer apps as well, because I think there was a showcase they did in like February or something where they showed off like 5 VR games, right? I think
right before launch, or a couple weeks before.
Yeah, like games that were like, oh, these are brand new, like, or I guess I got like Green Hell VR, I think was one of them maybe. And there was one that was like in space. It was like a shooter. But yeah, we could see more of that if they're still committed.
Do you guys think, there's been plenty of smoke around it, do you guys think that this will be where they show off a PlayStation 5 Pro?
No. I think it's too soon.
I mean, how many years are we into this generation?
We're 3 years into it,
but I'd say about 3.
It was only recently where people could just walk to a store to buy a PlayStation 5. I feel like for the most part, it's been very much like a hot commodity. It's flying off the shelves.
PS4 released in November 2013. PS4 Pro came out in November 2016.
So
there was 3 years there. It definitely is a bit anomalous that like supply and demand were only just getting to the point where like people have met that supply, but with people, the people who have had their console for 3 years and are maybe looking for something more. I don't know. It's definitely a strange situation.
I mean, and not to bring the real world into it, but I think maybe we should consider the COVID of it all too, right? Like, sure, it's been 3 years, but it's been 3 COVID years, and they either feel longer or shorter depending on the context. But point being, I think there's also that usually slows down production. Like that's why we're seeing so many games now, because COVID most likely slowed down development, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if COVID also slowed down if they're working on a PS5 Pro, like them working on that,
I mean, it changed supply lines in a lot of ways too. So there's a lot of non-gaming manufacturers that are still playing catch up. So I wouldn't be surprised if they can't even start on a PS5 Pro until they've probably completed a lot of their existing contracts. And that's probably the biggest challenge they'll have in launching a new console. I mean, same thing with Nintendo and Xbox. Everybody's going to be in the same place.
Yeah. We know Sony is also committed to live service games. Do we think? Well, how many do we think we will see?
Anthem 2, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what the new Mass Effect actually is. It's just Anthem 2. I mean, I don't
know if there's been enough time for them to develop one.
Anthem 2?
Well, live service. I mean, they really only started leaning into it, a year ago was when they started snatching up and talking about the future for us is live service. So maybe they'll have something. I don't know if it'll be anything particularly blockbuster.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something about Destiny there, maybe update 4 point whatever, or a new story mission or something.
I keep forgetting that they're under Sony now. Wild.
They sacrificed Crash Bandicoot for Halo. Well, formerly known as Halo.
Bungie is owned by Sony. Crash Bandicoot is now an Xbox. Well, could potentially be an Xbox mascot.
Right.
Cats or dogs. The world is upside down.
There's been talks of, I think, that Sony London studio, they're working on that some sort of live service shooter type of thing, if I remember right. So that
we haven't heard about in a while.
Yeah, so that maybe. Oh, you think we'll see Killzone?
I doubt it, but it would be cool to see something new in that franchise. It's been, I don't even know how many years at this point since we've had a Killzone title. I mean, maybe the last one was on Vita or PSP, one of the two.
I mean, if I had to bet, I doubt Guerrilla is in any rush to put down the Horizon franchise to work on
That's fair.
Work on a Killzone.
That's fair.
I bet realistically they're probably working on Horizon 3.
Yeah.
Do we think we'll see any buzz from Naughty Dog? Because they have recently said that they're moving away from Uncharted. Or I guess something other than that. Because I know that they kind of handed off Uncharted and they're we're not touching this anymore. So it could be either something new that is not Last of Us, or are we going to see something new Uncharted with someone else at the reins?
I think if we do see Uncharted, it will not be Naughty Dog developing it. I could see them maybe tapping on Naughty Dog for guidance or that kind of thing, but they wouldn't be the primary developers for sure.
Well, and I mean their main writer is only with Naughty Dog too, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's some sort of a reboot at that point.
Yeah,
as well.
But they just need to make a game based on the movie. We need more licensed movie games back.
Right. So you want Uncharted, the game, the movie, the game.
Hey, it worked with Ratchet and Clank.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I could see them doing an Uncharted where it's like, decades down the line and it's like Nathan Drake's, kid. You play as them. You go back to Papa Nate. Like he's your new Sully or something.
Oh God.
Yeah. But I think if Naughty Dog makes something, it will be the Last of Us multiplayer if we see them here, right? Like it's got to be that.
They've got to get that out the door.
Yeah.
Before they can really move on to anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we're also talking live service games, my Hail Mary of a live service game here is the granddaddy of all live service games. If you think about it, do you remember the PlayStation 3? Do you remember Massive Action Game? Do you remember this game? Like 200 something players in one lobby.
Yeah.
So I mean, imagine they announced.
Was that MAG?
MAG, yeah, Massive Action Game. MAG. Now what have they announced? MAG Reloaded. MAG 2 Reloaded.
I mean, at the point that they're wanting to make
fill out a 256 player lobby.
Yeah, at that point, just download PlanetSide 2. That's still on the PlayStation, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. It's still got a super active community. They're still developing for it, still dropping, like they dropped naval warfare like a couple months ago. So now they've got like water maps and stuff. You can literally just like as a trooper run along the bottom of the ocean, which is extremely amusing.
Nice.
So
yeah. But hey, I don't know. I mean, we could see something like a MAG. They have been worried about if Microsoft acquires Activision, they won't have access to Call of Duty anymore. They need a shooter. Maybe it's MAG Reloaded.
Could be their savior.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Make it a part of PS Plus.
Plucked from obscurity and held on a platform.
To be fair, there's like once a year that I'm like, you remember MAG? And then it disappears from my mind.
Right. I mean, well, you mentioned PS Plus. Do we think we'll see any talk of, like, in the same way when we all know when we watch the Xbox thing in a couple weeks, everything's going to be like day one on Game Pass or coming to Game Pass, that sort of shit.
World premiere.
Well, that's it, everything now, right?
Yeah.
But do we think we'll see anything that PlayStation's going to angle as like day one on PlayStation,
No.
Deluxe or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I think that if we do, it will be something third party. What Bugsnax was a day one Game Pass, day one PlayStation Triple Plus.
Was it? That was like a launch title, right? For the PS5.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like Chia recently, right? That was a PS Plus and Stray as well.
It's always the weird cutesy indie games. So I could imagine if they did like a Little Big Planet live service game, I could imagine that would be something that they would throw onto PlayStation Plus like day one.
Yeah, I could see them if the Last of Us multiplayer thing is announced there or like shown there, and get these skins if you're subscribed to PS Plus or like this loot box or something like that.
The Mandalorian skin for Joel. He sounds the same.
And he is taking care of a child, so they're just the same franchise, really.
Ellie and Grogu are step siblings.
Yes. Any other predictions any Hail Marys you want to throw out there to put on your bingo
Bloodborne
card? Bloodborne PC.
Yeah,
not gonna
Bloodborne
happen,
sequel.
but they need to announce it before
everyone's big cope. Well, are people even going to be like really wanting a Bloodborne PC port at this point? Haven't the last couple of PlayStation PC ports been pretty jank?
Yeah. Like I would rather have Bloodborne, remaster or something on PS5 than that.
Yeah. Plus we have Lies of P coming, so that'll.
Yeah. Oh, do you think
your PC Bloodborne?
I mean, do you think we'll see that? Like, maybe not even at
Yeah.
PlayStation, but just like in general, in the next month. It's been kind of quiet since last year.
Yeah. One of my game trackers, I was looking at that the other day, and I thought I saw like a date change, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
Apparently in February there was an official release month trailer.
That was it.
It'll be out sometime in August.
Yeah.
God. Yeah,
I think Xbox has their marketing, don't they, or is it PlayStation that does?
I don't remember.
It looks like a lot of the trailers that are popping up on Google at least are PlayStation. So yeah, we could probably see that.
Possibly.
Yeah, I bet we'll see that.
Yeah.
I bet that they could just announce Bloodborne PS5, and the only difference is 60 frames per second, and the crowd would go nuts.
Easy to please.
Yeah.